think we're on. Hello. Hope you're all well. Could be a short stream because Billy is not liking the thunder. We might end up going back inside. Or we might lose power. I don't know. There's storms forecast tonight. It's been about 30 degrees today and rainy this morning, hot in the afternoon, and then rain again now. So we will see. We're heading away tomorrow as well, so there's stuff to do for that, and I'm sure at some point I would, it would be highly recommendable to go to sleep with that too. I'm just trying to tidy up in here a little bit and try and get back into the habit of the Saturday night live stream. Hello, Bill. Billy he's had a haircut. So he's looking very short on the sheep at the moment. And I think he knows that we're going away. I think that's part of the issue at the moment is that he doesn't want people to leave. But we gotta go, don't we? So he'll go and stay with my mum and with a very, very close family friend for the other times, and he will get spoiled. He's over the thing he appears to be over the thing that he had last week, so that's another positive. But yeah, he's been unwell, but I think he's on the up now. All right, I've just been 3D printing a thing. I want to see if I can put it together. I don't know whether I'll really have the materials to do that, but I'll go and see. If I've got enough stuff to do it, then I'll put it together. So I'll flip the camera back up. The room's, it's not the messiest it's ever been, but it certainly could be cleaner. It's a work in progress. I've had 2 printers going, otherwise this print will have taken hours and hours to finish. And I might even bust out the dehydrator and dry. I found a roll of filament under a pile over there that will need to be dried out. So just give us a moment and I will go get some things and I'll see if I can find something of suitable size for this little creation. See if I've got enough stuff here. Maybe I do. There could be something wrong with my CAD model and I might need to go back to the drawing board. Let me see. That's a pretty good fit. Which means that should be a pretty good fit. I don't know if this one will be though. That one, yeah, that one's a bit tight. Okay, so not using that one. Save that for the next one. I even have a piece of dowel that I could have used, but or an aluminium, but a piece of aluminium. It's a bit sharp. Oh, yeah, goodness. is this? About a little piece of plywood. Might be ideal. Particularly if I can then use this section. Although this is probably going to be too long. Probably more this section. Let me just check how well this bit fits. Does that fit? Oh, it sort of fits, but not quite. So I'll have to cut that off. But I still think that'll be good enough. Although I could probably no, I shouldn't leave it like that. That's actually for that end. I'm going to cut it off. I do have some cutting things for conduit somewhere. Over here. Maybe it's over here. Conduit cutter. Okay. Don't know what I'd ever use that for. Probably for throwing in the bin like this. Missed. I've just vacuumed the floor. It's a mess again because I'm in bare feet. Well, I'm in human feet, but let me try and. There we go. Turn those off. Two less risks of shorting things out electrically. So I'm going to need a tape measure in a second, and I'll point it down so you can see what's going on. Haha! I printed to the bloody same, you dickhead, James. Never mind. Just means they'll be like that. No one cares. I can always swap it for another one, for a different one later. That's fine. Right, let me point the camera down, and I'm just going to get a tape measure so I know how much this plywood to cut by hand, because it's too late to use tools. Need to show that I'm a woodworking channel. So what's that? 400. 400. That sounds good. No, I'll show you what I'm doing. Oh, I've got a radio control thing. 400. There we go. That looks like a good number. Done. 400mm section of plywood. Can do that. I've got a saw, I think, somewhere. There's one. There you go. Got a saw. There's some thunder. How badly can this go wrong, hey? Live woodworking. I've got a saw. I think I remember how to use it. Hold on. Just let me find somewhere to prop this up. Pencil. Pencil. Pencil somewhere. There's one. There you go. See, when you tidy up, can't find anything. Which end? That end? That one, good end. 400. Expertly marking, because, you know, I've got all my fancy marking knives and stuff. 400 millimeters, as the guy from the Mitre 10 New Zealand ads used to say. Right, get a square. Here's a square. Look, I'll even. Must be fucking marked. There it is. Oh, look at that. Almost like I'm trying. Unfortunately, I don't really have any way that I can do this any better. But that's alright. I will do what I can, right? Alright, there we go. Lovely. Let's move the fan out the way. Good. There we go. That'll do. Alright, now you probably can't see anything. I don't even know if moving this out is going to make it any better. No, probably not. You'll hear me. You'll hear me doing stuff. Well, I've got to cut it cack-handed as well. That's always a good start. This will currently go well, can't it? But it's a shop project, so. Perfect. Right, sandpaper. Never mind, this will do. Take the crappy bit off. Oh, this is idyllic. This. You're going to look at this and go, why didn't he just make a good one? Because sometimes you have to pick. Are you going to make a thing or are you going to make a video? And I normally pick making a thing. Alright, little screws. Oh, they might be the ones. Let's have a look. Something to drive screws in. I don't want to screw it straight into my bench. You know that's going to happen though, don't you? Whoop. Blair Witch Project camera work. There we go. I'm going to move the charger out of the way. Hello. There's a comment. I'm receiving a message from someone. Right. Something for applying screws to a hole. one. Yeah, it's all right, Bill. Just had to check it's still working. Right, let's try and find some screws for this. They look like they might be the chaps. Wow, they're going to go through. Gee, that's no good. I might have to go for something a little bit bigger. Hold on. I think I got some 16mm somewhere. Yeah, maybe these. Maybe these are the ones. Let's see. These might be too coarse, I'm not sure. Too coarse? Let's have a look. Oh, bloody lovely. Feckin' magic. Now, how are we going to make sure that this is equal on both sides, eh? What am I going to use? I suppose I could measure it, but it just doesn't seem like me. Now, if only I had a scrap of 3mm MDF like all the ones I threw out. I don't. I've got bloody well thrown out. I'm thinking. I wonder which way they line up the best. And so they sort of up the top there. That one's okay. They probably line up both. I'm going to go flush on the bottom. I'm going to go the old bottom flush method. All right. Will I drill through into my bench? I'm very near the edge. Woo. Just to prove that I've proved my woodworking credentials. Is that still going to fit? Oh, maybe. Hold on. Might have cocked up here. That goes there. That goes there. Ah! Fella! The other thing is, do I have enough of these screws? So the reason this came about, and I've made a left and a right hand one, but I just haven't printed a bloody left and a right hand one. The reason this all came about is I was doing a job which required some wiring for a radio control thing, and could I find the wires that I needed? No. Heck no. Not at all. Not a dead dingo's donger. So I decided that I actually have a little wiring rack on the wall, but it's really difficult to add wires to. So I thought what I should do. I thought Jim. I said love. I said pet. I said love. I said pet. I said dear. I said love. I said pet. Why not make yourself a bigger wire storage rack? All right. And that way you can just put more on it. And I thought, that's a good idea. And then I realised something. Hold on. And I realised One of the good things about this conduit with the flared end is that it fits together like that. Yeah, that's a good thing. And I'll tell you why it's a good thing in a moment. I just need to go and set up one other thing. I'll just put this away. It is rather loud. Yeah, Bill. Everything's been moved. The project cars had to be moved. All the furniture's put away because apparently it's going to be hail and everything else is going to go wrong. Cats and dogs living together. It'll be the return to Hades. And the good thing is these bits don't have to actually be very accurately cut. I wonder if anyone in the comments knows what's going to happen. There we go. I'll do that one again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm trying very hard to organise things. So here we go. Oh bollocks! Hold on, I'll just get a hand screwdriver and take down the wire holder that's screwed into the wall at the moment. Apparently, it's also screwed through the corner of the SASTI certificate. Sorry, Sasati. Oh no, I missed it. Missed all the vital organs. So this is the current wire holder, which is a few years old, and it was just some brackets and a screw and a whatever else, and it worked fine. Like there was no doubt that it wouldn't work. But this one's going to be a little bit better because, number one, I can get rid of that wire reel now. Because this is going to be much easier to put wires onto. There's another thing to go in the bin. This is made of the most expensive resource known to man in this area of the world, of Bumfudge, is 12mm ply. And part of my son's old baby playpen. It's all right, Billy. We're going in there. It's all right. I know you're getting worried. But it will allow me to put on more rolls of cable. I had to buy this last week for more cableage. So it will allow me, because the cable I had, which was this gear, which is 18 gauge, is not enough, or doesn't carry enough current for the battery stuff that I was doing. And I was changing battery connectors for a motor. Not that I'm an electronics channel. Honestly, that's like electronics. I like to talk electronics, but it's really borrowed words. I don't know what I'm saying most of the time. It's just stuff that comes out of my face. It really doesn't equate to any kind of knowledge for anyone else. So if you're thinking about learning electronics, do not watch my channel, because you might learn what not to do, possibly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have one that's glued on and one that just slides on, I think. So there we go, a bit of hot snot. Oh, it would help if it's turned on, you dickhead. So what else? I've got more wire things. I've also got a couple of screws in there, so that's handy. I can just put it on the wall. I'll probably end up just putting it, up here above the meters and stuff like that. And we'll see if the 3D printed brackets are enough to hold it up. I don't know whether I should put the 3D printed files on Thingiverse or Printable, so if somebody else wants to download them, but it was just a simple sketch. Didn't take long. They took 4 hours each to print, but I just put them on one on each printer because I'm able to do that. I'm very lucky. How was your Christmas? How was your Christmas? It was a good... I don't know. I'm sure stuff was good about it. It's all been very, very rushed. I'm feeling very rushed, that's for sure. For definites. You know what I could have done? I could have put them in there, couldn't I? No, I'll put one there. And then one on the end, I think. Yeah. Just one there on the end. And then that one can just sit there. It's a good plan. That's my plan. So, yeah. What was that video? I can't think of the video's name. I wish I could double check who it was. Can I go to my channel while I'm streaming? I don't know. Let me see if I can find the channel. Might be able to. Let me see. Scruff Dog, no. It started with Sawdust. No. Oh my goodness, I'm sure it's somewhere here. No, I'm not. I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. If you haven't, go to Brian's Builds and Outdoors channel. He's got a good video there. It's a bit of an eye-opener, and it's about men's mental health, and that's something that I've struggled with for a number of years. And I don't think there's, certainly in my experience, there's a lot of men that are willing to say that they've struggled with their mental health. It's quite difficult to find the right help that you need. And there's a lot of well-meaning people out there that want to help you, that want to give you, their time and their... Just put some glue on this. There we go. They want to give you their time, and they certainly are happy to be part of, I suppose, your healing process. But there's not necessarily... we have them looping over the top, I think. There's not necessarily the right help from all the well-meaning people. And I don't say that as they're not helpful. I just say that somebody can want to help, but they're not equipped to be able to do it. Because just because someone is struggling with, and it sounds very much in the pejorative that I'm describing this, if somebody is struggling mentally, not all mental struggles are the same. I'm not saying they're not all equal, but they are not all the same in nature. And you might need someone that is specialized in a particular field. So if you're the kind of person, or if you're a person that is struggling, just be prepared that you might need to look further afield than the first person that offers you some help. And the first person that offers you help might be a great sort of starting off point, but they're not all the same. Particularly for, I shouldn't say for, I'm going to get raked over the coals. And not that this is not meaning that I'll stop and try and rethink what I'm saying. It's not for a want of people wanting or not wanting to help. Different people have different problems of a different nature. They're not all the same. Not all people are the same. Not all problems are the same. Because of that, I think I made this thing too bloody short. Because not all people and problems are the same, not all solutions are the same, not all help that you get is going to be the same or equal, and you might need to do a bit of digging for yourself. But usually the first port of call, a trusted friend. I would not, this is only me, I wouldn't seek help from a family member. It becomes too convoluted. I think you want somebody with a bit of distance, and that's why you should reach out and get professional help. Get help from somebody who is not connected to you in any way. And in this area of the world, that was nigh on impossible because everyone in town knows everyone. So it meant that for me, when I went looking for help, I actually had to look further afield, which meant telehealth, or if I was in the city, I could maybe get some time to speak with my people there. The other thing is, don't be afraid to move on from someone if they're not helping. And I lived through that experience. I had a person that was so good, amazing person, really helpful, really helped me to turn things around, in sort of the darkest time. And then that person moved on, and I was referred to another person at the same practice, and there was just zero connection there. Not saying they were, a bad, mental health professional, but there was no connection between us. And you need to be able to feel comfortable enough with someone to talk honestly and openly about what's troubling you. So don't be afraid to move on. And that's what I did. I moved on, and I tried 2 or 3 people before I found another person that I felt comfortable enough with to be able to talk to about things. What else? I guess for men, and this could be media perception, and I'm not all about, we're in the Matrix and all that Andrew Tate bullshit. Men seem to fall into the categories of, telling their stories of, addiction, violence, and then basically men who never said anything and went and, I don't know, self-harmed somewhere, or worse. There's more than those 3 categories, and that's something I would like people to understand. There's more than that. And often it's not the people that are quiet. Some people respond by being quiet. They're quiet around other people. Some people are just like that. There's also people that get so energized around other people, or when they think other people are watching and listening, and they sort of compensate for it so much it exhausts them. They're not just tired, they're mentally spent from those experiences. That's a whole category of people that doesn't really seem to get any airtime. So the video I just mentioned on Brian's Builds and Outdoors, Brian says that he had a sort of a violent reactive outburst, and that prompted him to get help. I've never experienced that. I experienced things on a much more introspective level, and the battle is internal, and I'm very much aware of it, and I try my hardest to deal with it in the first instance, without sort of avoiding it or ignoring it. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, well done, Brian, for your video. It really, you know, got me in the hard place there, and I'm glad that you're getting help from someone else that's, you know, getting help. And it's sometimes it's a process of it will take a long time. You know, sometimes the amount of help that you'll need will decrease, and you'll be able to, you know, if not sort of wean yourself off completely, almost. I'm at the moment, you know, this time of year is really stressful. Work's going back. I find work extremely draining and stressful because I'm a very poorly organized person. And if you work in education, the one thing education does not need is poorly organized people. So I find that, you know, it's a battle every day. So I'm finding that I'm probably speaking to my person every 2 to 3 weeks. But that's because I have to pay for it as well. My experience in waiting for a person was I was on a list for 5.5 years waiting to speak to someone. And essentially, if you're not turning up in the emergency room, you're not high priority. But I think that by being on the list for that long, it did long-term damage because it was just get by, just mask it, just do other things to you know, soften the pain until you can get some help. So that's my experience of it anyway. I might be talking out of crap, who knows. Let me talk about the little van, because, you know, the weather, the rain, I don't know if you can hear the rain. It is quite freaking rainy out there. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So this is, I think it's a WL Toys van. Hold on, better move that out of the way. That's still cooling off. It's WL Toys. It came from AliExpress. It's about $60, depending on what coupons you have and what configuration you get, and that kind of thing. You can buy it with just, you know, the van and the transmitter, or you can buy it with the van, the transmitter, and the battery, or the van, the transmitter, and 2 batteries, etc., etc. I actually bought 2 identical vans, and they came with 2 different batteries and 2 different connectors and stuff like that. So be aware that if you buy 2, parts may not be interchangeable. We'll flip it over. Not that I'm aiming on becoming a radio-controlled car channel, although if you are into radio-controlled cars, let me just say RC Kicks is a really good channel. I'm loving that one. Mark Bryan RC was also excellent. He did a build guide that I was following. Quiet RC in the USA is another really good one. Quiet RC, not quite RC. Quiet as in shh. And what was the other one? There were 2. The RC Store was the other one, and Bandits RC was the other one. So plenty of good stuff there. I've been basically looking at maybe getting into some models. I've done a bit of radio-controlled stuff in my 3D printed stuff with my obviously the radio-controlled vacuum cleaner, the Jaws prop. But my son had a little radio-controlled car, and that seemed like it was a lot of fun. So this year at Christmas, my dad had the idea that, well, I have a bright yellow van, and my brother, who is a carpet cleaner, has a white van. So we bought a white and a yellow van, and we're going to race. We're going to race them. I have a gymnasium at the school that I work at. We're going to race them in the gymnasium. Especially a couple of times during, you know, when COVID hit quite severely here in about 2022. When that happened, you couldn't really go out a lot of places. Like, there weren't lockdowns and stuff, but people were very apprehensive about going out. So we would often go to the gymnasium, to big open space, and maybe with only 5 or 6 people, and, you know, race some radio-controlled cars. And we even flew drones and little radio-controlled planes and tanks and rock crawlers and all that kind of stuff. My son really loves radio-controlled stuff. I've been keen to get into it, so this is my radio. I'm going to get some stickers made up so it looks a bit more like my van. And, yeah, so this is it. I have got the label maker and done a personalised number plate for it, if you're a Doctor Who fan. I tried to do it just with numbers and not just write the name because that seemed better. I'm going to get a logo of a Dalek to go here, and also a logo of a Dalek along the side, on each side. And I think I've even got one on my van. I think I've got one up on the back here, so I'll do that too. So all being well, I'll arrange that with a cricket machine or something like that. But these are really good little ways to get started. They're not expensive. I mean, you sort of look at your kits. I went to my local toy shop to inquire about some radio-controlled stuff, and basically, if it's not what they call a Traxxas, which is a brand of radio-controlled car that I think comes from the United States, if you're not running a Traxxas, which is about $1,500, they're not interested. So I probably wouldn't race anything that big. I think they're either 1/5 or 1/8 scale. This is apparently 1/10. I'm thinking it might not quite be 1/10. It might be maybe 1/12. Just looking at other things, and then maybe it's, my son got a little radio-controlled Mustang for Christmas, and that also claims to be 1/10, and it dwarfs this thing. So I don't know, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun to drive these around and see if we can get them going sideways and stuff. I'll put the battery in. I was hoping that I could charge this battery from the balance lead, but I can't. It's got this connector on it, which I've researched, and I do have a matching connector, but the problem happens when I plug them in. Let me see if you can see what the problem is. Can you see it? Now, I could make a charging adapter for this, but I would worry then that either this is wired back to front to what the normal, or this is all these that I've got are wired back to front. I'm not sure, and somebody would plug it in, and it would either blow up the charger or set the battery on fire. So to undo the thing, see the thunder started. Oh, I get it. They give you some leaf springs. You got leaves in the rear. Woo! Like a real van. Leaf springs. I wondered what that thing was in the packet. Let me just plug this in. It's got to sort of hide down here. It's not got full charge in it. The only thing one of the things I don't like about these, with my experience with lithium or lipo batteries from other projects, is that because I can't charge them with my Rigididge car charger, I'm really struggling to fit this in here. It shouldn't be a problem. There we go. I think that's nearly it now. There we go. Because you can't charge it with the actual proper radio controlled charger, you can't balance charge it. See, and you also can't put it into storage charge, which means this battery will have a limited lifespan. I don't like that because batteries are pretty dirty on the environment, and I think you should try and keep them going as much as you can. So click this on, and got some lights on the front. There's no lights on the back, but you do get some headlights, and that's just showing that it needs to actually be paired to the controller. I don't know if I've got any batteries for the controller. Let me see. Look at my batteries drawer. I have got some. I don't know if these are rechargeables, but I don't know what. 400 milliamp, and the other one is 1300 milliamp. I have a feeling this isn't going to work, but we'll try. Why not? I don't know what that is. I think my son was doing one of those like archaeology sets. I don't know if you've seen those. Keeps getting them for Christmas and birthdays, and I bloody hate them because they just make a mess. You're coming out? Oh, you're out. Okay. So let's see. It was something on this because I set my brother's one up tonight Yeah, we were actually meant to have these for Christmas, and they didn't arrive. Christmas Eve, I got refunded for the 2 of these. So no charge. That's a pain. Never mind. I could run into the house and get them, but let's face it, the weather outside is frightful, and it's not even friggin' winter. And the dog is going to go outside and want to bark at the sky, which will mean that it's very difficult to get him to come in. But I'm going to try and stack all the really important stuff in here. And I will turn this off, and I will also unplug the battery, because I have been led to believe that these little cars, even though they're not plugged in, the ESC, the speed controller, really does drain the battery even if it's not plugged in. So these are 2, not double A's, but they're very much double A in size, but of course they're 3.7 volts each, not 1.2. But they're not the standard 18650s. These would be, where can I find a set of calipers? I can tell you what they are, because 18650, people always go on about, oh, they're using 18650 cells. It's just the dimensions of the cell. These are 14 500s. So yeah, 14 500, because it's 14 millimeters in diameter, and 50 millimeters in length. So that's 14500. There you go. I have been doing some labeling, so I've got lots of my stuff. Can I swing that around? I probably can. Let me just swing that around. Oh, there's a camera in the way. Oh, actually, I better take that camera with me. I tried to record the build of something, and I think it's gone horribly wrong, but never mind. Let me just swing you around there. And you can see, look, more labels on stuff. So pens, more pens, charger cables, Creality parts, hot ends, connectors, tape, fans. The prying game, that one says. It's all my prying tools and spudges and whatnot. So it's getting there. It's getting more and more. It's sounding very severe now, isn't it? So I think what I'll do is I'm going to bag up the lithium cells and probably call that a night, because I don't want the dog to be stressed out that much. That's not a good thing. So I think it's probably best for everyone if I call it a night there. If you're doing anything radio controlled, get a LiPo bag. All right, these are great. Even if you store multiples in the same one, this bag is actually usually for any battery that I'm charging. All right, so they always go in a LiPo bag. Basically, if it catches fire, the plastic smothers it and puts the fire out. These are even lithium batteries for my little camera. So I'm going to put them in this LiPo bag. And yeah, that will be it from me. Thanks everyone for... Oh, it's raining pretty badly there too. I hope the road's not closed tomorrow. That'll really suck. We had to drive out of town today to pick up a luggage pod for the car, but then we had to drive out of town. We got home, put it on the car, and then realised the car won't go into the carport with the luggage pod on. So, and that's going to go back on Facebook Marketplace when we get back. Never mind. Anywho, well, I nearly made it to an hour. Billy's... Oh, hello, Bill. There you go. very much hoping that we'll go inside. So I'll leave it there and I'll be off. Take care of yourselves, everyone. And I'll see you when I see you.